Now coming to the second concept, which is nutrition in ruminant. We have studied about holozoic, right? So here ruminants would also come under holozoic because they also eat whole food. Whole food as in, the leaf, the, the cabbage or whatever. They can have that. They can basically have it as a whole. They don't need simple food like plants, right? So basically, what is the definition of ruminant? They are herbivores. They are animals.
Ma'am, the definition?
Yeah, please do.
Ruminants are the herbivores. They are also known as cud-chewing animals. They follow two steps in their digestion. The first one, there are 4 chambers in them. Omesum, abomasum, rumen, and reticulum.
And abomasum.
Reticulum.
And
yes,
abomasum.
Ma'am, I told ma'am, omesum, abomasum, rumen, and reticulum.
Reticulum, correct. Good. So basically, what happens is that they regurgitate. What is the meaning of regurgitate? Regurgitate means regurgitate. Regurgitate means
after they eat the food, they again bring the food back to their mouth, ma'am. That is called regurgitate.
Bringing back the food to their mouth.
Ma'am, they bring it back. Ma'am, they bring it back from the reticulum.
Yes, they bring it back from their reticulum. We will discuss about it now, how they do it and why they do it. Okay, all right. So basically, cow, goats, sheep, whichever animals have a lot of, as in they only survive on green grass and green leafy vegetables are called ruminants. Now there are 2 steps. What is the first step? The ruminants first eat the food. First, you will find that the cows are just grazing. When they are grazing, they're just eating, just as in cutting the grass from the soil or maybe eating the leaves from the plant and just directly swallowing it even without chewing it. They will just swallow it and then regurgitate a semi-digested food called cud. What is this? They regurgitate, matlab they will bring the food back into their mouth, which was kind of semi-digested, only half digested, which is called a cud, right? Now, the ruminants then will sit in one place. The cow will sit in one place. After eating and swallowing all the grass, it will sit in the field and then eat the cud. When at rest, when it is resting, then it will get all the cud back to its mouth and then it will chew. This process of eating the cud is called ruminating, right? Most of the time you will see when the cow is at rest, it is continuously moving its jaws. What is it doing? It is ruminating, right? Or maybe it is cutting. It is like taking its cud back. Yeah, tell me.
Then the jaws of the cow won't hurt?
No, it won't hurt. We continuously eat. Does our jaw hurt? They will only chew as much they eat.
Ma'am? Yes, ma'am. But in this way, won't they have less nutrition intake?
Sorry, I did not get your question.
Ma'am, because like after having something, they'll again take it back and again chew when they are at rest. So in this
so what happens is that now it is easier to
Ma'am, I didn't complete my doubt.
Okay, ask.
So won't they have less nutrition intake?
Why will, first of all, now that they've regurgitated the cud back, it will be easier for them to chew because, it is mixed up with that saliva. It has become a little semi-digested. So it is easier for them to chew as compared to direct leaf or a direct grass. That is number 1. And number two, where is the loss of nutrition? It's the same green plant. It is the same grass. Where has the nutrition gone? It is there inside, intact.
Yes, ma'am, it's not. But they'll have less intake of food, right? Because instead of eating again and again, won't they be grazing on the same thing which they already ate?
See, basically you will find that, farmers, what they do is that they take the cow for grazing early in the morning, right? They leave it for grazing the entire day. Only at the end maybe early evening only they get the cow back. So the entire
Okay,
day they
now I
remain.
understood.
Yeah, the
So,
entire
like a
day.
cow has food intake once in a day.
If not once, at least twice in a day. You know, even at rest, many a times I think so. They always keep some hay ready at the shed also. Whenever it's hungry, it can eat. Right? Okay. Now, ruminants have a special stomach with 4 chambers. What are the 4 chambers? Rumen, reticulum, omasum, and abomasum.
Abomasum. Abomasum.
Abomasum, yeah. So basically, rumen
Ma'am,
is the yeah.
so they have only one organ in the alimentary canal.
No. They have several organs. They have many organs. They also have an esophagus. They also have, the stomach.
Ma'am, for digesting, I'm saying, ma'am.
So no, for digesting, I'm just talking about the stomach now, right? For digesting, see, partially digest for digestion, just like our saliva digests initially, even their saliva does it. If you have read it here, the food is already semi-digested when it was in the reticulum. That regurgitates and comes back, and then it is kind of chewed.
Ma'am, why does it have to chew it again? Why can't it just complete its digestion there?
Ma'am, it
Yeah,
stores its food for the energy. It stores it like how we store how our body stores fat. It stores the food in the reticulum, and it sits and it has brings the food back from the reticulum and chews it again.
see, what happens is that their alimentary canal has been designed very differently, right? Because green grass or maybe green leaf, green plants are the most difficult things to be digested. They need a lot of time and a very complex alimentary canal to digest it. That's the
Ma'am, then
reason why
ours isn't the most complex than the.
ours is the most complex, because we have so many different types of food. Ours is the most complex, no doubt about it. But just imagine, in case of cows, they are not even having it cooked. They are having it directly. They are having the raw plant. They are having the raw leaf. Just
Mom,
try
so
having, just try
Mom,
having our, just try having some raw leaves someday. The next day, human beings will have loose motions and diarrhea, because it will
Ma'am,
be
I
all.
can't even bear the taste of one pudina leaf raw.
Then just imagine, in that manner I wanted to say that they have a even more complex, because in that sense they don't have much variety. They only have one variety of food, that is green plants, green grass. But for that only they need to have a step by step, I mean to say, a complex in the manner that they need to have a step by step way of digestion. Otherwise it will be difficult for them also to digest. Right? Okay. So now rumen is the largest chamber of the stomach. Please remember, rumen is the largest chamber and it is used for storing the food. Right? Reticulum. Reticulum is basically, it helps the movement of the food back to the mouth when it has to regurgitate. Right? And it will only regurgitate whenever it feels like. It will not regurgitate voluntarily. For example, in human beings, we don't have any control. कि अभी stomach में रहो. Now after 10 minutes you will only go to the small intestine. Then after 15 minutes you will go to the we can't command. But in case of ruminants, their brain can command, and they will only regurgitate when they feel like. For example, maybe one cow has grazed for 1 hour and then wants to rest. After resting only, it will feel like regurgitating and then will bring the food back from the reticulum, through the reticulum. But there would be another cow who is a more energetic cow and would graze continuously for 3 hours and then would take rest only after 3 hours and then sit. And then it feels like regurgitating. It will regurgitate then. So it is voluntary. Matlab, it is at its will, right? When it wants, it will regurgitate. So omasum is the smallest chamber of the stomach. Its main function is to absorb. Now abomasum is actually the true stomach, where the gastric juices are secreted to help digestion. Here the food is digested just like human beings, right? For example, if we say stomach, then abomasum is the real stomach. Just like we have hydrochloric acid in our stomach, similarly cows have gastric juices, which help them in digesting all the food that they had. Right? Okay, the abomasum also contains hydrochloric acid. Right? It also has hydrochloric acid, and they also have
Yes,
pancreas.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Even I checked it up.
Yeah. So the abomasum basically, so here actually when they say it acts like the stomach of a human being, so basically the abomasum has HCl, hydrochloric acid.
Ma'am, even in my textbook it says abomasum, ma'am.
Yeah, abomasum. Yeah.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
does ab mean like omasum plus ab, like abdominal?
Basically, all of them are there in the abdominal area only. It's very close by. If you see, all the four chambers are very closely situated. So I don't know why they had to add ab. I really do not know. We need to really do a lot of research on that.
Ma'am, maybe the ruminants also have abdomen.
Yeah, but then again, the stomach, the full stomach is there in the abdominal region only. All right, so that's something which you can maybe take it up as a homework and maybe do it.
Okay, ma'am, I'll ask my grandmother.
All right, okay. Okay, now digestion of food in ruminants. How does this digestion happen? The ruminants mostly eat grasses, we all know, and green leaves, which are very rich in cellulose. Whenever you hear grass, whenever you hear green leaves, just keep one thing in mind, that it has high cellulose content. High cellulose. And cellulose is can't be digested by human beings, but can be digested by ruminants. In our case, it is considered as undigested food and roughage and thrown out of the body, right? But only in case of ruminants, they can digest it. The ruminants on digest cellulose because cellulose digesting bacteria and protozoa are present in their stomach. Just like our stomach also has a lot of good bacteria, gut-friendly bacteria. What is the meaning of gut-friendly bacteria?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, this cow and these ruminants also will have acid like humans have.
Yeah, they will have. Of course, they will have. Just like human beings have. What are the gut-friendly bacteria that we have inside our stomach? Can anybody tell me?
Yeast?
Yeast is, but nowadays they say that yeast is not a good bacteria. Yeast is considered to be a bad bacteria for our stomach. Very little amount of yeast is good, not high amounts of yeast.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah?
Ma'am, I don't know, but I just know that all these good bacteria are there in the appendix.
The good bacteria do basically.
Ma'am, they help in digesting.
They help in digesting, and there are.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, how many good bacteria will be there in our body?
See, it is difficult to count like that. There are thousands and hundreds of different kinds of bacteria, and every day it creates a good environment, or maybe a good biome. There's something called a biome. If there are good bacteria, what will happen is that our food will get digested properly. Absorption will be good, assimilation will be good, right? Nutritional value that we eat and absorption will be high. So a good bacteria actually, leads to a very healthy biome, right? There is something called a probiotic drink, Yakult probiotic drink that we get
Yes,
nowadays,
ma'am.
which actually encourages good bacteria.
Ma'am?
It encourages good bacteria, right? Also curd. Curd has lactobacillus in it, which encourages good bacteria. If you have ever heard of this called kimchi, kimchi salad. Kimchi salad is
Ma'am,
basically,
never heard.
this is basically fermented cabbage. Fermented food like idli, dosa, dhokla, these are very good because these are all fermented foods. These are little sour. Most of the food that is sour would be fermented food which have a lot of bacteria in it. You must have seen your mother when she makes a idli batter. She keeps it overnight. The full
Yes,
night she
ma'am.
will keep it. What happens? Bacteria grows like anything, multiplies into hundreds and thousands. Full night. Next day morning when you come,
Ma'am,
wake
it
up,
puffs up in the morning.
it puffs up. Why? Fermentation. There's a lot of alcohol and sugar that is produced, right? It really, the lid comes out. And if you just try and sniff it, you will get a foul odor. Why is it foul odor? Because fermentation has taken place and a lot of bacteria has grown, and these are all gut friendly, good bacteria.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
what is lactobacillus bacteria?
Lactobacillus is a kind of bacteria which turns milk to you actually which you find it in curd basically.
Ma'am, is it
The
the same thing as yeast?
No, yeast is different. Lactobacillus is different.
So what is the scientific name of yeast?
Scientific name of yeast I need to find out. We call it as okay. It is known as Saccharomyces cerevisiae. One second, let me just explain lactobacillus first. Lacto means milk, right? The bacteria which is there in milk is called lacto. Lacto means milk, bacillus means bacteria, right? And if you want to know the scientific name of yeast, Saccharomyces.
Ma'am, what is the spelling of yeast?
Yeast is Y-E-A-S-T, yeast, which is found in bread,
Okay, ma'am.
right? Yeast is the substance which is basically an active bacteria, which you just put it in little sugar and little warm water. You will see after 5 minutes it will all swell up and puff up. It reproduces very fast. It reproduces through budding.
Ma'am,
Very fast.
scientific name of yeast is Candida.
No. Candida is a kind of infection, which happens because of yeast. That's why I was saying too much of yeast is not good for the body. It causes Candida infections. The scientific name of yeast is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Okay, now coming back to the ruminants.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I just copied these names from the internet, ma'am. I put it in the chat.
The 4 dominant bacterial phyla in the human are okay. Okay. Clostridium. Okay. All right. So the ruminants. Okay. First, it has reached the stomach. So the half-chewed grass now travels from the mouth to the first chamber of the stomach, which is the rumen. And what is the rumen used for? It is the largest. Remember the largest chamber. It is used for storing. So where it is acted upon the bacteria and microorganisms. So here, as I was saying, how does the food get half digested? Here in rumen only, the bacteria acts on it and kind of semi-digests it. Those half-digested food, it goes back. It then goes to the reticulum from where it is returned to the mouth for further chewing and breaking down. So basically, if you see the, twice or twice actually the digestion happens. Once it happens in the rumen, half digestion, then it goes back through the reticulum, it goes to the mouth, it again chews it, and then again sends it back to the abomasum for the final digestion. So digestion actually occurs twice, and that's the reason why it is highly compartmentalized. Then it enters to the third chamber called omasum. Here it is broken down into still smaller pieces, right? Finally, it enters the fourth chamber called abomasum, where enzymes act upon it and digestion is completed. It is finally sent to the small intestine where the absorption of the nutrients takes place. Just like human beings, in the small intestine, absorption takes place. Even in their case, absorption takes place in the small intestine. Now, there is a little homework which all of you can do. That is, find out of the 4 chambers, except for rumen and reticulum, except for the reticulum, rumen, omasum and abomasum, what are the enzymes, what are the digestive juices that work on it? Just take it down as a homework and find it out.